Welcome to the official YouTube channel of Fil-O-Noé Mentors, your very own boutique learning company. In this video, we will try to provide you with a brief overview of Fil-O-Noé, the vision, the mission, what we do, and the value that we can bring to you. Request you to please watch this video till the end. But before we begin, let's establish the connection between intellectual property rights, and knowledge, the exciting world with which Fil-O-Noé is associated, and it is going to connect you with this exciting world. So please stay by and let's move on. So the IP and the IPR connection. When we look at today's world, we are actually seeing something that we all are very familiar with. The most widely used and recognizable terms, words, phrases hover around new idea, creation, innovation, invention. There will be hardly anyone who is not aware of these words. When we look at government policies, they talk of innovation. When we look at businesses, academic institutions, when we look at growth, when we look at future prospects, everybody talk about innovation, everybody talk about creation. So how is the connection, what is the connectivity between new idea, creation, innovation, invention, and the intellectual property and the intellectual property rights? I'm sure many of you will be knowing it, but just for the benefit of those who may be coming for the very first time and trying to understand and get a feel of what is intellectual property, what is intellectual property rights, and how it is connected to creation and innovation, this is primarily for them. So whenever we talk of new idea, whenever we talk of creation, innovation, or invention, one of the most important part that is associated, that should be associated with it, is the external manifestation. Innovation, invention cannot happen or should not happen within the four walls, within the closed door. It should come out. Unless it is out in the public domain, unless it is creating benefit, unless it is creating good to the society, there is really no value for it. So in order to realize the true value of your innovation, your creation, it should come out. It should have an external manifestation. Now, what are the different means, what are the different channels through which this external manifestation can happen? Let's take a look. It can happen by way of designing new product or a new technology, coming up with a new product or a new technology which has something unique to it associated. It could mean a new method or a process of doing something, some act. Okay. It could mean a new way of doing a business. It could mean a new process of purifying water for making it potable, making it drinkable. Okay. It could also mean a new application of an existing product. Okay. Something which people have not heard about. It could mean that as well. Okay. Uh, the external manifestation of your creation, of your innovation, could also happen through a research paper that you may have published very recently, or something that you are writing currently and is going to get published soon. Okay. It could also be connected with the produce of a region which is inhabited by a group of people who have unique skill set to make this some unique product, some unique creation. Okay, so which can be associated only with that particular region. Okay, that also could be the manifestation of innovation. It could mean a VLSI design, the engineers and technologists and scientists who are working in the field of electronics and communication, they may be working on coming up with the new VLSI design. The creativity may also show up in the form of a name of a product, a new name that you have coined for a particular product. We recognize product by their unique name. Okay, so it could be something that you may be working on and in creating the new product name. It could essentially mean your LinkedIn post that you have very recently put up. Okay, it could also be associated with a tweet or a blog that you have written, or a vlog that you have produced very recently, and your creative ability is getting manifested through that. The way you are portraying a particular place, the way you are portraying a particular incident through your vlog, and something that you are putting up on YouTube is actually the manifestation of your creative ability. It could mean a seminar talk on a particular topic. It could also mean a new unique name that you are giving to a company. You may have come up with your own startup. You are thinking what is the name that you should give. It could mean that. It could also be a website or a book that has come up. You have contributed to the development of the website. You have created the content for the website, or you may have written the book, and that is where your creativity has got an external manifestation. The external manifestation of your new idea may happen through artwork, through a sculpture. It may also be associated with a scientific, technical, or a market report that you have developed, you have made. It could also be a photograph, a poetry that you have created, right? So all these and such several, options or channels that are associated through which your creative ability, your new idea can get an external manifestation when we look at this. Or it can also mean somebody else's idea that has seen an external manifestation through any of these channels. This overall, we call them as the intellectual property, or in short, IP. And whenever we talk of intellectual property or IP, we also talk about the intellectual property rights. So there is some rights associated with each of the intellectual property that you produce, that you generate. And when we look at the intellectual property rights, the very first row, which is all in green, if the manifestation is happening in any of these, domains, the intellectual property right that can be connected with, or that can be associated with, is a patent. When we are talking of the external manifestation by way of the produce of a region, they are associated with the IP right called geographical indications, or in short we call it as GI. When it is the name of a product, it is essentially a trademark. When it is the name of a company, it's a trade name. And for all the rest, it is called copyright. Now, one thing I would like to make it very clear over here, that just by creating an intellectual property, you really don't get the intellectual property rights. You have to apply for it. You really have to connect your intellectual property and secure them through the appropriate intellectual property rights. And when we look at this entire gamut, the entire, this very exciting, colorful world, if I may say so, uh, we find that it is a world which is filled with information, filled with knowledge to derive insight. And Fil-O-Noé is here to help you connect with this exciting, ever-evolving and knowledge-filled world, the world of IP and IPR, and realize or exploit this knowledge to derive insights in a more meaningful manner. So with that introduction to the exciting world of IP and IPR, and the knowledge and the information that is available in this exciting world, let me take you through the the many of the known and the unknown aspects of Fil-O-Noé to make you familiar with Fil-O-Noé and what we do and what we bring to you as part of Fil-O-Noé. So let me first talk of the company. The company Fil-O-Noé, we are in the business of offering custom training and learning solutions, and also offering coaching and mentoring and advisory services, basically to MNCs, the multinational companies, Indian corporate houses, small and medium enterprises, startups, and of course, academic institutions and research organizations, primarily in the field of intellectual property and also other subject domains. And we very affectionately we call our company as your very own boutique learning company. Let me talk now about the group of Fil-O-Noé and the other companies that are associated that are part of this group. Fil-O-Noé is actually part of the Vibuddha group. We call our group as the Vibuddha group, and the Vibuddha group has, in addition to Fil-O-Noé, the flagship company Tech IP Knowledge Consulting Private Limited, a company which is associated in the field of analytics, primarily intellectual property analytics. It also uh, operates in the field of patent application, preparation and prosecution, portfolio management, licensing studies, and support for licensing activities, due diligence studies, and the like. So essentially, when you are looking for end-to-end, service in the field of intellectual property and intellectual property rights, Tech IP is operating in that domain. Along with the core activity of in the field of intellectual property, Tech IP has also a very powerful and a strong ITES arm, or the IT-enabled services arm. This particular arm, works in the software and the IT domain. They develop customized apps for mobile, for desktop application. They offer very powerful data analytics software support. NLP is something that is being explored and is being carried out very strongly as part of the ITS services. Also, one of the very critical work that is associated with the field of intellectual property rights are the various tools that helps in management of your IP and the IPR. For example, the docket management system, you have the patent and patent application, portfolio management, you are doing your annuity, payments in order to keep track of when the annuity is due. All these are actually provided through the ITS arm of Tech IP. And along with that, the company Fil-O-Noé, which is being represented over here, exists, which is the other group company. And as I mentioned in the beginning, Fil-O-Noé is primarily associated with training and learning, coaching and mentoring, and the advisory services. So we are basically, when you look at the Vibuddha group, it is well positioned to offer a wealth of customized solutions. So in terms of the strategic focus of the group companies of the Vibuddha group, we have the strategic IP executions and the IT-enabled services offered by Tech IP, and the training, mentoring, and advisory services offered by Fil-O-Noé. And with this, we very strongly believe that we are a strategic group poised to be your long-term partner. Now let me talk about the vision of Fil-O-Noé. Fil-O-Noé's vision is to be your trusted partner in bridging the knowledge gap. And Fil-O-Noé's mission are as follows. The very first mission is to offer customized training and learning solutions to our clients, providing coaching, mentoring, and advisory services to our clients, creating a targeted yet holistic solution for our client, of course, establishing the technology, IP, business, and law connect, a very critical link that has to be established properly in today's world, be it for a company, be it for a business or a corporate house engaged in research, be it for an academic institution, a research organization. Uh, Ability to properly establish this connect is very critical, and the last but not the least mission is to be the trusted partner for our clients. Moving on, let me touch upon over here the various services that we are offering and how those services are connected, linked with the organization or the team maturity. And as you would have seen, that the three primary domains of service that Fil-O-Noé offers is in the field of training and learning, coaching and mentoring, and advisory. So let's take a look as to how these three domains of services are linked with the organization or the team maturity. So here is a very simple depiction of what I'm really trying to uh, convey over here by identifying what kind of service we would recommend, for a team or an organization, depending on the organization or the team maturity. The very first, when the team or the organization is at the epoch stage or the create stage, it could be a team of people who are getting ready to work on a new project. It could be a startup company who have just established themselves, and they're going to work in a new niche technology field. It could also mean a professor as who is a faculty in an academic institution, or the research guide in a research organization who is going to start a new project, a new research project, who may have got a handsome grant and would like to make good use of that money to create something which will be really unique and worthwhile. So, which is the very starting phase, be it a company, be it a group of people, be it a research oriented activity which is at the starting phase. Fil-O-Noé would recommend to have the training and learning, because this is the stage where we believe that training and learning is going to be extremely important, so that the team really gets the required knowledge, and is really prepared to really move forward. And what exactly this training and learning is going to do is going to create an IP culture, an ecosystem. It's going to help in appreciating the value of IP. It also has the potential to identify individuals from the team, from the initial gathered team, to make a small sub team which will be very strong in the field of IP. and of course to develop the required knowledge and the skills. The next phase is what is called as the transition or the growth phase. It could be for an individual, it could be for the team of people, it could be for the company, it could be for the research proposal, whatever you can associate as you believe that you are in the growth phase, you are in the next phase from the epoch. Fil-O-Noé recommends coaching and the mentoring services because this is the service which is going to improve the individual and the team performance. It can also, make IP an integral part of your research or business activity, and it also has the potential to transform individuals to specialists. It can facilitate the value creation from your research, from your business activity. The coaching and mentoring can also help you explore, new domains. And above all, by proper coaching and mentoring from Fil-O-Noé, you can make your in-house IP activities very, very robust. And finally, the third phase is where you would like to sustain the growth that you have achieved in the previous two segments, and that is where Fil-O-Noé recommends advisory services. This advisory services is essentially for the domain experts, people who are really key to ensure to have the sustenance. Okay, it helps in realizing and creating value from IP that you own or that you may have created in the last two phases. It can help in making IP a decision maker. Okay, many a time we have observed that IP inputs are not really considered during the decision making process, but this advisory role, this advisory service which is offered by Fil-O-Noé is going to help make IP a decision maker. It has the potential to develop and facilitate decision owners, and finally it has the potential to create that unique link about which I have spoken in the last couple of slides back about linking IP with technology, business, and law. Now let me talk about why you would choose Fil-O-Noé. There will be a lot of other companies, organizations who are offering same or similar kind of services. So why should you choose? Why should you decide to choose Fil-O-Noé? Let me give some rationale that we believe sets Fil-O-Noé apart from the rest. So when we look at the segments where Fil-O-Noé operates, as you have already seen, we operate in the custom training and learning domain, offering custom training and learning solutions, and that is something where we develop the custom learning package for our clients, and which is rooted very strongly into the fundamentals, and also these training packages provide the required tips, advice, and knowledge for the practical development. This is one aspect that we provide, and there will be adequate contextual examples, case studies that establishes the that critical connect between IP, technology, business, and law, which is going to help organizations protect and preserve their dominance, their edge, while realizing the return on investment and get a holistic view of the potential and value of IP. So this is a very customized, solution to customized training and learning. And of course, I mean, everybody would argue that when it is a training and learning solution, it has to be customized. You really cannot, offer a training service to somebody who is in the 10th standard he needs a 10th standard, related training to that person or to that group. You really cannot offer a 12th standard, training or a 6th standard training, which is true. But more than that, here Fil-O-Noé goes into the finer details and the finer aspects that will be necessary to really make your training and learning a very effective one. We will go into the depth of really understanding the profile of the individual, the technology background of the individual, the particular project where they are working on currently, why do they need to learn and understand the IP, how are they going to make use of IP, and all these things are considered when designing this training and learning package, the custom training and learning solution as we call it. So of course, everybody offers customized, but I think I would, I would not be doing injustice to you by saying that we take that extra mile, we go that extra mile. And the second domain of services is the coaching, mentoring, and the advisory services. Here, I would like to say that the company Fil-O-Noé is actually owned and it is driven by very knowledgeable, highly experienced professionals, the mentors, and I'm going to, introduce you to the mentors who are associated with Fil-O-Noé. They have advanced degree in science and technology. They have experience of working hands-on in research and development work, and they have extremely good knowledge of business functions, and they all bring the corporate experience from Fortune 500 companies. And more than that, the Fil-O-Noé mentors have the first-hand experience of the change the IP world has seen, both in India as well as globally. And since they have gone through this change, they understand how the IP world has evolved in the last, few decades. And collectively, they bring the wealth of knowledge, experience, and expertise to provide one of the best learning solutions and mentoring and advisory services. So when to choose Fil-O-Noé? This is of course the next question. When to choose Fil-O-Noé? So we recommend that you choose Fil-O-Noé for the customized training and learning solutions when you are really looking for the training and learning that is at the epoch stage. And at the epoch stage, when you believe that the employee or the team, for the employee and the team, IP awareness is a need, or maybe it's driven by an organization policy. The scientific or the technological team is in need of understanding the value of IP, something which is really part of that epoch stage. I've already spoken to some extent over there. The nuances of IP for decision makers and decision owners, the knowledge boost up or upskilling that is needed for the in-house IP teams. If you would like to expand this sphere of work of your in-house IP teams, maybe they're primarily working in the field of IP analytics, but you would like to develop a team who would now take on to patent application prosecution, the drafting part, or you would like to consider a team who would now is going to manage the patent and the trademark, or rather the IP portfolio, things like that. So you're going to expand this sphere. You would like to consider Fil-O-Noé's training and learning solution, transforming individuals to specialists, and finally to domain experts. You would definitely like to have the training and learning solution from Fil-O-Noé. The second part is the coaching and the mentoring services, and we believe that when you are questioning yourself that when and how to make IP an integral part of the organization. We can help you realize that, help you achieve that through the coaching, mentoring, and the advisory services. For actionable recommendations to bring IP to the mainstream. Importantly, if you like to have an outsider view to critique, to review your existing IP or technology to IP or business to IP activities, our advisory services or coaching and mentoring services would be very useful in this case. uh, what are the new approaches or actionable that will help you realize the IP value? You already have the IP in your organization. How do you realize that value? If you are planning to develop a good IP process which is dependable, which is robust, we are there for you. We can help you achieve that, create that, and achieve that. Very importantly, cost comes, a very critical part when you are thinking of any, initiatives or any activity. So we can help you achieve a cost optimized IP initiatives, for the best value. So we would really say that please connect with us, and we can explore, more and beyond together. Now, let me talk a little bit in more details about the custom training and learning solution that we offer. So this particular, service, the custom training and learning solution, I have already spoken about it. It is complete. It is holistic. It is tailored, and of course, it is also participative. And these are things that I have already spoken about when I mentioned why would you choose Fil-O-Noé. Part of that I have already spoken about it. Essentially, these training and learning solutions are tailored, they are participative and collaborative, very much specific to the client. We bring a set of contextual examples and case studies to help the participants learn and understand the fundamentals, and many a time it is always good to get a set of contextual examples to really understand that connect that exist when you are really working in a particular domain and you would like to associate IP to that domain. Customized, reference and study material. We definitely offer e-learning resources depending on the need. There will be self-paced or home study material, and finally, it is also a partnered knowledge support that we offer, and the mentors who are going to create and deploy these training and learning solutions are adept, knowledgeable, and extremely passionate. So we really believe that it is not just a training but a complete learning solution. Now, let me talk a little bit of the engagement strategies that may, that typically works good for the organization depending on which, how they would like to use the training and the learning services. So, very first one, which is the most common that we see, is a need-based in-class or remote learning session. In this, what we typically do is we identify the learning domain from the client, the topic or the area of interest, maybe one or two. Okay, and we create the custom learning solution, and we typically deploy it. The second one is more systematic and structured learning session, and it also has the additional, support post training, post learning support from Fil-O-Noé. In this particular mode of engagement, the client actually shares the need along with the other relevant details, for example, the type of team, the kind of work that they're doing, what is exactly the end goal that they would like to achieve, things like that. So client would share the need for the training and the learning in the IP domain. Fil-O-Noé will then go ahead and develop a very systematic and structured learning plan, which will definitely have different sessions, subdivided into topics, what would be the appropriate delivery mode, the set of, the examples, the case studies, there may be some, group activity, all those things, which are an essential part of this learning plan Fil-O-Noé would develop. Then the sessions are also created by identifying the client preference, availability and choice, how they would like to do it, and we take care of the time differences that may exist. You may have a group of members in location A, whereas another group of members located in location B, and there is a time difference between A and B. Fil-O-Noé would try to make sure that we have these things taken into account when the sessions and the deployment plan is worked out, or it may even mean that we offer the training to the group located in A at a particular time, and a similar in the session is offered to the group located in location B at a different time depending on their availability. So nothing is impossible, I would really say. We can always work out a suitable plan that works best for the client, right? And of course, there will be a post-deployment support through virtual mode or the electronic mode, we can offer. The third very important, and I would really say it is a more holistic way of learning. We call it as the partnered learning. Here the client is actually going to share the vision and the expectation from the team. Okay, that is the starting point. Now Fil-O-Noé develops a systematic and a structured learning plan to achieve that vision, which is going to be the first need, the first part that is needed in terms of training and learning. What would be that stage one? That is what Fil-O-Noé would develop. And then this set of sessions, which will be identified as in the systematic and structured learning above, depending on the client availability, preference, and choice. And then once this particular sessions are deployed already, Fil-O-Noé would go and identify the learning plan for the remaining need, okay, to achieve the vision. When the team is slowly team is getting matured, and their requirements and need changes, and since they're working towards that vision, Fil-O-Noé would also work with them, and they will identify what are the remaining needs that need to be met, and they will Fil-O-Noé will come up and create that structured and the learning plan. Time space sessions, it will be definitely planned in sync with the client preference. And the first needs, there will be structured session, for the subsequent first needs also, and what are the critical topics, that is what. So a very structured way Fil-O-Noé will actually develop. And of course, there will be post-deployment knowledge support towards learning, and also helping in the projects through which IP is going to be realized. When it comes to this custom training and learning solutions, Fil-O-Noé really recommends a systematic learning. We believe that the true value of learning can be achieved when it is carried out in a systematic way. It is not just one session or one set of sessions you get organized by Fil-O-Noé, and then there is a complete stoppage of the learning, because learning is a continuous process and we believe in the systematic learning. And let me share the view that Fil-O-Noé holds, and how Fil-O-Noé looks at this systematic learning. So, as part of systematic learning, as to why Fil-O-Noé recommends a systematic learning, the entire learning process is divided into the three main stages: the fundamentals, the intermediate, and the advanced. It is quite similar to the to the maturity level of the organization, about which I spoke about in a couple of slides back, where I was trying to establish the rationale as to what kind of service that Fil-O-Noé recommends depending on the team maturity or the organization maturity. This one is primarily focused on the learning service, and learning also is actually split into the stages at which the learning need is evolving. So it comes with the fundamentals, intermediate, and advanced. In the fundamentals, it is essentially to develop the level 1 knowledge and skills. Okay, that's essentially you would like to achieve. You identify individuals who can help in creating the next your IP team. It also helps in creating that IP culture or the ecosystem. In the intermediate level, the training is so chosen to help in ensuring that IP becomes an integral part of the research or of the business that is being carried out. It actually is going to help in identifying potential experts in the field of IP, and it can also help in assessing the quality of outsourced IP services. That is what the training topics, the learning topics are designed at the intermediate level. And finally, the advanced level, it is essentially to help you realize and create the value from IP. It helps in developing the decision owners. Once you get this kind of a training, you are at the advanced level, you are actually creating the decision owners. And you are also helping in developing and nurturing the domain experts. So the training topics, the learning domains are accordingly created. And also the team will be able to understand how IP can become a decision maker. So this is how a very systematic learning that we really recommend. Now, let me touch upon very quickly some of the select areas of learning that Fil-O-Noé offers, and it is as you can see, divided into the three typical client segments, I would say. One is associated with the scientific, technical, and the research team. The second one is more for the management, leadership, and the decision-making team. And the third one is more focused towards the IP team. And as we found, there are these three stages of the training and the learning. So I'm going to talk about the domains which are available and which can be customized. And I'm really not talking of topics over here. I'm really going to talk of the domains which Fil-O-Noé believes can be, uh, created, rather can be tailored at a particular level to derive the best value from it. So we have the fundamentals, we have the intermediate, and we have the advanced. And when we talk of the scientific and the technical and the research team, this is how the different domains have been, identified. So it may mean, a domain which is associated with fundamentals of IP, something that is related to, reading a patent. When you go to the, in the intermediate level, there can be, a question which the scientific and the technical team, faces, that whether to patent or not to patent, a scientific work or a development or an achievement. So what is the rationale between patenting versus publishing? When you are planning the research, how do you connect the different stages of IP development as part of your research planning? Okay, so what is the cost, of patenting? So these are some of the domains which can be further tailored and customized at the intermediate level, and then there is this advanced level of training and learning for the scientific, technical, and the research communities. As part of this, emphasis will be given on legal aspects of patents, the patent laws, the more commonly, looked or commonly considered, patent laws like the US patent law, the European patent law, the Indian patent law. And now, if you are trying to scale up and commercialize your, research or your technology that you have already developed, there are certain, studies that need to be carried out in order to ensure that you are clear and through from any form of, patent risk or IP risk. Those studies can be, conducted, how to make best use of the results of those studies, the findings of those studies. That is what is covered over here. How do you may understand the patent portfolio? What is your strategy around patent filing? These are things that are primarily aimed for the scientific and the technical teams. Okay, when we come to the decision making or the leadership team, the domains at the fundamentals level typically remains same, but if you see, for the scientific and the technical team, we have kept patent cost, what is the filing cost, issue, maintenance, things like that in the intermediate level. But for the decision makers, we actually bring it at the fundamentals level. Okay, so IP or patent based studies for decision makers, this is very important, and this is going to be discussed in the fundamental stage. And like that, you have at the intermediate stage the various elements of IP management, the understanding of patent portfolio, strategies around patent filing. This particular topic for the scientific and the technical team is kept at the advanced level. However, for the decision makers, we believe it should be brought about at the intermediate level. So, if you what I'm trying to say over here, if you look at these domains, these domains have been identified depending on the need of the knowledge around IP for a particular group of people, the team of people who are going to take that training. And finally, we have this set of domains identifiable for the IP teams. The same structure has been followed, and very the very critical domains which can be customized and tailored to suit the need for IP teams, so that they evolve and they get a systematic learning is offered over here through the stages of fundamentals, intermediate, and advanced. I would really request that you please spend a little bit of time over here and go through these different domains, and I'm sure you will find the rationale why certain domains have been created at a particular stage, why certain domains have been are not available for a particular class of people, for a class of audience. I hope you will find it useful. Okay, with that description on the training and the learning solution, let me go to the other domain of activity, the key activity with which Fil-O-Noé is associated, the coaching, mentoring, and the advisory services. The coaching, mentoring, and advisory services, as I have mentioned earlier, it's professional, it's value adding, it's tailored, and of course, it is actionable. So essentially, you look for this activity, as I've also mentioned earlier, is to transform your technology IP challenge to a result-driven, actionable, declutter the IP business roadblocks, and realize the unrealized value. Bridge the IP and the IP law gap for technology, business, and functions. There always exists a disconnect between what you own as an IP and how the law interprets that IP, how the law helps in ensuring that you get the best value from your IP. So our coaching and mentoring and the advisory services is going to help you in bridging this gap. Uh, Establish a robust IP process for the organization, make in-house IP team more efficient, critical, and value-adding, grow and develop a very competent, accountable, and responsible IP team. If you don't have one, we can help you grow, that team. Derive the best from your technology and IP initiatives and activities. Align IP activity with business goals and strategies, and make IP an integral part of research and organization. This is, in a nutshell, I would like to say what the coaching and the mentoring services can actually help you achieve. Now, the approach, let me talk about that. What's a typical approach? For the coaching and mentoring services, it is going to be very personalized coaching and mentoring. It can be carried out remotely, or it can be done in-house. Of course, we operate into multi-technology domains, and the coaching and the mentoring service will be structured and actionable. So, essentially, it starts with establishing the purpose and the objective and the expected outcome from a particular session, understanding the client's need, technology, business, or IP, and the legal need. What are your goals in a short term and the long term? We then try to link this purpose and the objective with the technology, business, IP, and the legal need, and create a holistic session framework which is going to be targeted. We also plan the pre and the post session works. There will be knowledge insight sessions. We can recommend brainstorming or workouts, or we can also organize brainstorming and workout sessions which will be in sync with the objective with which a particular session or a set of sessions has been agreed upon. Creating a suitable session deployment plan. uh, then it is essentially potential to address client need when are you looking for the coaching and the mentoring services. Specific members may be requiring some knowledge boost, or they need a hand holding. Members may be lacking key domain insights which is needed for specific work deliverables. We can help you in ensuring that the member you know uh, gains that additional knowledge, that expertise, which will help in doing the work more effectively, and which will be really useful for the organization. A short duration discussion or knowledge insight on a special or a key topic can be made part of this coaching and the mentoring service. Helping in developing specialists and experts from the generalists. I think this is also very important. You really cannot achieve everything through training, so you need coaching and mentoring service for this. Explore new and non-related domains for knowledge boost. Something you may not be having any connectivity with the world of IP. You are a hardcore technologist working in the scientific and the technical domain. But if we come on board and we connect you your research work with the world of IP, you can explore that new domain. You gain that additional expertise and knowledge, which will help you in your research and your scientific endeavors. And like these such and similar requirements you can think of, which can be associated with the coaching and the mentoring service. In terms of the advisory services, we have actually two approaches. The very first approach is the inside out approach. This is typically aimed to address questions from the client as to how do we do something, how do we achieve something, then what to do when someone is some activity is creating a problem, what to do when there is an a note which is more associated with changing in the approach or changing in the thought process. You have got two options. Which option to be considered? You are in a dilemma. This is something which can be associated as part of the advisory services, where it is an inside out approach. And in this approach, what we do is we define the scope through direct interaction with key team members of the client, and we develop the problem statement. As a next stage, we secure technical, competitive IP insights, R&D or business strategy, long and short-term vision as needed in view of the scope and the problem statement directly from the client. So it is essentially we get connected to the client, and we really have a one-to-one, or we have a direct interaction with the team of the client. uh, then we can have discussions, brainstorming, workout, technical business insight sessions, etc. With select team members of the client to better understand, so that we really provide the needed advisory services. And finally, there will be a report out to the client, a customized report, a presentation. It could also, mean a roundtable discussion. Could be carried out on a conference call. And essentially, it could be potential to address client need, such as we are already selling this product, but we have no intellectual property on it, or we don't have any intellectual property rights on it. How do we protect this product or technology, if that is something? So how do we do it? Okay. uh, Another situation may arise where you say you are not very sure whether you should publish, patent, or keep this technology a trade secret, an internal know-how. So what to do in this kind of a situation? Do we need to file and maintain this invention or patent in a country, for example, in Korea and Japan? Uh, you know, these are some areas which can be addressed through the advisory services. You already have everything in your place, but you really want to ensure that you are taking the right decision. You're ensuring you are taking a knowledge facilitated decision. Okay. So this is what we would recommend as the inside out service. So basically, a client is in need of an expert advice. They know they have everything, and but they just want to have this expert advice to ensure that what they do is going to be in the best interest of the company or the organization. Now, this is the second approach of the advisory services, which is based on the secondary research. So it is typically associated when the client is looking for an answer to questions like what is the government policy in the area of green technology, or something like, is there a way to circumvent the competitor's patent, which is preventing us from making and selling a particular product in the market, or how is the market for renewable energy looks like in the next 10 to 15 years. If the client need is associated with these kind of question, or they can be explained or connected with these kind of question, Fil-O-Noé recommends its advisory services through the approach 2, which is based on the secondary research. In this approach, we define the scope through direct interaction with key team members of the client and develop the problem statement. We secure technical, competitive, IP insights, global research and development, and technology and business trends, etc. As needed, and which is in sync and in view of the scope and the problem statement using secondary research. Then these findings are corroborated or validated with the client's in-house insights and knowledge and information. And there can be, discussions or brainstorming or workout sessions, technical or business insight sessions that can be arranged with select team members of the client. And finally, there is a report out which happens in the form of a customized report, a presentation, could be a roundtable discussion through conference calls, and like that. So essentially, when the client need can be described by question like, is there a way to better understand the impact of government policy, for example, on the future market of green technology, or what is the competition doing in the area of lithium-ion batteries, okay, or is there a way to rationalize the relationship between market growth, research funding, and IP filing for renewable energy market or product, or if the question is what could be the value of a particular product at a global level 5 years from now. If the client need is hovering around these kind of questions or these kind of scenarios, Fil-O-Noé would recommend the advisory service through the secondary research approach, where basically the client need can be explained as they require a holistic view. Now let me talk of the deployment approaches that we can offer. The various modes of deployment when it comes to custom training and learning solutions are in-class and or in-house instructor-led sessions. It could be virtual or remote instructor-led sessions. It could also be deployed through workshop setup, and there is an option of home and self-paced learning. When it comes to the coaching, mentoring, and the advisory services, essentially the deployment happens through email with necessary details, for example, documents and presentations. It could happen over phone or video calls. It could also happen through conference calls for group discussion, or one of the best scenario used to have a face-to-face meeting and reviews, and associated with the various reports, analysis, the findings and insights, presentations, discourses, which helps in getting the best out of these kind of the coaching, mentoring, and the advisory services. But in this case, I would really like to mention that we are flexible and we really value your choice. The client partnering and the association process is very simple. Let me quickly take you through that, and it's really very simple process. So it starts with the client connect, and we have a first level discussion to understand your need, and then accordingly we have these two primary domains: the custom learning domain and the mentoring, coaching, mentoring, and the advisory services domain. Once the domain is identified, either it comes to developing a suitable, appropriate curriculum or a mentoring plan as per the need. Then we have a feedback session with the client where we discuss the curriculum or the mentoring plan. Based on the feedback, we update and change as needed, and we send it for client approval. Then we have a second level of discussion where the client approves our custom learning solution package or the mentoring plan, the pricing, timeline, etc. We all agree, the deployment is all set. Then of course comes one of the important part, which is the agreements part. We would like to have suitable agreements in place. More importantly, because this involves disclosure of a lot of confidential information, and we respect the confidentiality of these information. These are extremely critical, so we would like to have the appropriate agreements in place. And then the deployment happens, and we have the post deployment support. Okay, and let me now connect you with the mentors who are the backbone of Fil-O-Noé, who actually represent Fil-O-Noé, and we are taking the vision of Fil-O-Noé forward, and who are actually bringing the world-class service that Fil-O-Noé offers to you. So we have Debankur, who is the co-founder, CEO, and principal mentor for Fil-O-Noé, and we have Dr. Swapna Rao, who is also the co-founder, director, and the principal mentor. Uh, these two gentle folks, these two mentors are presently the face of Fil-O-Noé, but Fil-O-Noé has connectivity with highly knowledgeable and experienced professionals from the field of technology, business, and IP. They have very strong connectivity with patent attorneys, IP attorneys, innovation experts. They have very strong connectivity with very able IP professionals who can carry out very detailed analysis and assessment of the IP need. So, although Fil-O-Noé is being represented by Devankur and Swapna, Fil-O-Noé has wealth of people and highly knowledgeable experts who can come into picture whenever the need arises. So here is a brief profile of Debankur. I would request, when you have some time, please pause this video here, and maybe you can take a look at in details. Debankur brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise, both from technology as well as from the IP domain. Has more than 20 years of experience, is a very passionate trainer and a mentor. And this is a profile of Dr. Swapna, and she also is a extremely knowledgeable person and brings wealth of knowledge to the table, has more than 20 years of industrial experience and in the field of IP, and she specializes in the field of patent preparation and prosecution, has drafted more than 120 US patent applications, has responded to more than 200 office actions of the US Patent and Trademark Office. And currently, she is also, in addition to her role at Fil-O-Noé, she is the CEO of Tech IP Knowledge Consulting. When you have some time, I would really appreciate you spending some time to go through Swapna's profile. And the best part, I would request, you can connect with Debankur and Swapna through LinkedIn. Both of them are on LinkedIn, and I think that would be more convenient in my opinion. So reaching Fil-O-Noé is very easy. We have multiple channels, so let me take you through that. So you can definitely, schedule a request for a call to be scheduled. You can just send a note to us through email with your contact details, and we will be more than happy to schedule a call with you and discuss with you. If you wish to share your requirement through email, please feel free to do that. You want to go to the traditional way of writing to us, that's also available. You can write to us. I would appreciate if you join our network on LinkedIn and do explore us on our website at filonoe.com. But more importantly, please do keep track of this YouTube channel, which is Fil-O-Noé's official YouTube channel. And please share your thoughts through the comments, and we'll definitely respond to that. And we will also be posting new videos, more knowledge intensive videos on this channel, which I believe will be useful. So please do keep track of this YouTube channel. If you have found this particular video, do like it, and do share it with your friends and associates who may need the services of Fil-O-Noé, and please do subscribe to our channel. Well, with that note, I express my sincere thanks and gratitude to you for stopping by stopping by at our YouTube channel, and request you and hope that you will come back and explore more about Fil-O-Noé, about the world of IP and IPR, and how Fil-O-Noé is evolving and contributing to that to this exciting world of IP and IPR on this channel.